Child is this who lay to rest on Mary's lap is sleeping, whom angels greet with anthems sweet, while shepherds watch are keeping.
Anyway, it's good to see everybody out there today. And Sarah, I think you're the one that said thank you for the rain, right? I agree with that. Of course, everybody knows we're planning an outdoor wedding, and those people that are watching, we're planning an outdoor wedding for Shelby's big day in 2 weeks from yesterday. And we're hoping we're not going to have contingency plans as far as being too hot and having to move inside. The house is so maybe we'll. And then the Moabite stone also lists Omri as being one who went out and conquered in the plains of Moab. And in the Apocrypha, you can trace the migrations of a great portion of Israel over into Europe by knowing who Omri was and then looking at some of the Assyrian records and the Moabite stone. So I thought that was kind of interesting that we have this one little final speck of information thing there as you go and you covenant over what? Just over some greedy land deal that he thinks is going to benefit him and his family. Now if we move on down to verse 42, a prophet tells him, he says, "Thus saith the Lord, because thou hast let go out of thy hand a man whom I appointed to utter destruction, therefore thy life shall go for his life, and thy people for his people." And the king of Israel went to his house and heard his supplication, and brought him again to Jerusalem into his kingdom. Then Manasseh knew that the Lord, he was God. Move on down to verse 19. His prayer also, and how God was entreated of him, and all his sins and his trespass, and the places wherein he built high places, and set up groves and graven images. Why this is one of my most favorite books in the whole Bible is because it's the most hopeful to me. We know as Christians that God has sanctified us and has given us eternal life, but as a flesh and blood living person with friends and neighbors and people I come into contact with, and just our nation as a whole in the flesh and blood, to know that God is allowing our nation to have a second